Water slides come in many different shapes and sizes. You have tube slides, you have body slides, you have speed slides, you have family raft slides, and you have water coasters, just to name a few varieties. I previously ranked my top 25 favorite water rides at amusement parks. Today, I'm going to rank my top 25 favorite water slides that I have personally ridden. Before starting this list, I want to note that my favorite type of water slide by far is a water coaster. So spoiler alert, this list will be dominated by those types of slides at the top. These slides offer more thrills and a longer ride experience than other water slides, so it's no surprising they'll place highly. Starting off the list at number 25 is Shark Attack at Atlantis Aqua Venture in Dubai. This attraction starts as an above average tube slide. It's in total darkness and there are 2 solid drops. You then finish in a lazy river, and this is why the attraction makes the list. You then slowly float through a massive, crystal clear shark tunnel. It is one of the most impressive visuals of any ride. Number 24, Body Bowl Slides. These slides always feature a fast plunge at the start, and then you rocket around the bowl. It's always a mystery how many spins you'll get, and then how you'll fall into the water. For me, I am usually flushed out awkwardly, which makes it all the more fun. The one downside with these slides is that you can sometimes feel the joints on the older models, and then the one at the DreamWorks water park has a really nasty jolt into the bowl that the others don't feature. Number 23, Tsunami Surge at Hurricane Harbor, Chicago. If you remember my review for this water slide, I mentioned it was an average water coaster. That still makes it a very good water slide. This is the tallest water coaster out there. The ride has some sizable drops, including a fun triple down at the end, but only 3 drops total give little pops of airtime, and the ride has an extreme lack of speed outside the drops. Number 22, Stealth at Aquaboggan. This half-pipe slide is special for me because of how it's operated. The operators allow single tubes to ride it backwards, which makes that initial plunge incredible. You build up a little speed in the runway, and then you fling down the steep drop, getting a free-falling sensation. The rest of the ride is pretty mellow by comparison. Number 21, Flood River Flyer at Wild Wadi. This water coaster is very long, clocking in near 4 minutes. The single tubes spin on several uphill segments. This one isn't very intense, but the ride is a long scenic journey and it culminates in a decent tube slide at the end. Number 20, Turbo Twisters at Myrtle Waves. This giant 10-story trio of body slides have the most positive Gs I've ever experienced on a water slide. I came close to graying out. It is shocking to get forces like this on a water slide. The entire slide is super fast, and it's in total darkness too. Number 19, Thrill-A-Gascar and Jungle Jammer at the DreamWorks water park. These are the tallest water slides in North America. Standing 142 feet or 43 meters tall, they extend into a special section of the roof, and you drop like a rock. There is no longer a countdown, so the moment when the trapdoor opens is extremely shocking. The start of the super steep descent gives a brief weightlessness sensation, and then you get nice visuals on the way down as you plunge through a giant airplane cockpit. Very similar slides with slightly worse visuals also include Cow Curry Body Plunge at Volcano Bay and Deepwater Dive at Kentucky Kingdom's Hurricane Bay. Number 18, Leap of Faith at Atlantis Aqua Venture in Dubai. This iconic body slide is built on the side of a temple. You will feel yourself momentarily lift off the slide as you push yourself over the edge, and then you plunge down a 90-foot or 27.5 meter tall plunge. The runoff features a fast shot through a shark tank, and then you end in a relatively rare splashdown feature for a ride like this, so it really catches you off guard falling into a pool. Number 17, Summit Plummet at Blizzard Beach. This speed slide is a taller version of Leap of Faith. The ride looks amazing with a fake ski jump on that snow-covered mountain. The drop is an absolute rush between its height and speed, and you will feel yourself lift off the start of the descent as well here. Number 16, Twin Twisters at Laguna Splash at DelGrosso's. This mat racing slide starts slow, with some small dips and turns, but the ride culminates in a large and fast double down. You can get some great airtime for a water slide, and it feels completely out of control. Number 15, Sidewinders at Ocean Oasis at Maurice Piers. This slide is very similar to Twin Twisters, except the double down at the end is steeper and faster. I got sustained airtime on this water slide. It was pretty freaky going airborne like this on a water slide. Number 14, WhiteWater AquaLoops. These trapdoor slides have a great initial rush as the floor falls out, and you get free falling sensation on the super steep drop. You then coast up a large overbank that parks Market as an inversion. You slow down at the top, but you then build up a fast burst of speed for the final descent. Some of the older ones are a little uncomfortable on your back, but the newer ones are very smooth. Number 13, ProSlide Super Loops. These are a little better than the AquaLoops. The initial drop is similarly steep and thrilling, and after the free fall, you instead whip around a fast and low turn. These turns have superior speed and forces, and I find they tend to be a little smoother as a whole than the WhiteWater West ones. Number 12, Banzai Pipeline at Whale's Tail. This half-pipe slide has very good airtime for a tube slide. The initial drop gives a pop of airtime, and then you traverse the freaky wall. You get some weightlessness, and there's no edge barrier here, so it really feels like you'll fly off the edge. You then navigate a speed hill, getting a surprise pop of airtime before hitting the pool. Number 11, WhiteWater Wadi at Wild Wadi. This is Flood River Flyer on steroids. The slide is nearly 10 minutes long, yes, 10 minutes. The single tubes again spin on the water-propelled ascents, and then there are some rapid transitions on the windy course. You won't get any airtime here though, but that's fine because it's so long. The slide sections are broken up by a series of splash pools, and the finale is another tube slide. Number 10, Crushin' Gusher at Typhoon Lagoon. This is a shorter water coaster, and I haven't ridden it in 14 years, but I remember it giving good pops of airtime on the drops, and you have 3 different sides to choose from. Number 9, Deluge at Hurricane Bay at Kentucky Kingdom. This ProSlide water coaster has suffered a ton of downtime in recent seasons, but my rides in 2016 were great. The drops delivered good airtime, and the magnetic uphill sections kept the pace up better than the aforementioned water coasters on this list using different propulsion methods. Number 8, Storm at Atlantis Aquaventure in Dubai. This is a weird water coaster. Most are formulaic, consisting of drop, uphill, turn, rinse and repeat. But Storm begins with 4 consecutive drops and water-propelled ascents. The sequence is chaotic as the single tubes spin like a top, while you also get little pops of airtime at the top. You then splash down atop the Tower of Neptune slide tower, float through a lazy river, and then head down OK Tube slide to return back down to the ground. Number 7, RiverRush at Dollywood Splash Country. This is a shorter but powerful water coaster, also from ProSlide. The hydromagnetic uphill segments and turns are fine, but it's the drops that stand out. 3 of the 4 drops really pop you out of your seat. Number 6, Wildebeest at Splash and Safari at Holiday World. This is another magnetic ProSlide water coaster. The 2 shed drops will have you completely levitating out of your seat, and then the long layout has a few other drops with quick pops of airtime if you're in the back, and the front gets quick pops of airtime in the ascents. I talk about this one more in a separate review. Number 5, Falcon's Falaj at Yas Waterworld. Satisfying the weight requirement for this ProSlide creation can be tricky, but the slide has a cool layout around the mountain. There are 3 excellent drops with nice airtime, and then you get smaller pops on 2 ascents, and the spinning rafts add an all-new dynamic you rarely get in a water coaster. Number 4, Mammoth at Splash and Safari at Holiday World. Also featuring the spinning rafts from ProSlide, Mammoth is a riot. The sustained airtime on the 2 descents that immediately follow the ascents is great. Then you get some smaller pops coming off a few of the turns. You also will get comically doused with water on a few of the turns, and I talk about this ride more in a separate review. Number 3, Toothless's Trickling Torpedo at DreamWorks Water Park. This ProSlide creation has a unique layout, as it is built around the perimeter of the water park. The hydromagnetic uphill sections allow this one to hold its speed well, and there are countless hills. The 2 drops at the end are the best ones though. The big one gives a good pop of airtime, and the final one gives a little more sustained airtime. Then the smaller dips at the start give a few pops as well, but a few don't. I have a separate review in the slide going into more detail. Number 2, Black Anaconda at Noah's Ark. This water coaster shot up my list big time in 2021. The conveyor belt propulsion system that goes uphill isn't my favorite, but this is a long water coaster, and every single drop gives some sort of airtime. Most give small pops, but the second and third drops give really nice airtime for a water slide. And coming in at number 1 is Krakatau Aqua Coaster at Volcano Bay. These ProSlide water coasters usually feature 2 to 3 really strong drops, mixed among weaker ones. Krakatau has 7 drops, 6 of which are great. Drops 4 through 7 continuously increase in power before you get some shockingly sustained airtime for a water slide on that final drop. It may be the best drop on any water slide. Krakatau also mixes in some nice visuals as you travel through the volcano and dip under supports. I have a separate review going into more detail, but this is the king of water slides and it is miles ahead of the others. So those are the top 25 water slides I have ever ridden. What are your thoughts on this list or any of the slides I mentioned? Let me know if you think I missed any in the comments. It's possible I just haven't ridden them yet. If you enjoyed this countdown, I'd appreciate it if you gave this video a like, and you considered subscribing, because there'll be a lot more roller coaster and amusement park videos here at Canopy Coaster. Thanks for watching.